The Chinese health authorities say they are investigating the source of a mysterious viral pneumonia in the central city of Wuhan.
Shanghai, 2020. Population over 24 million. A vast city that's about to be brought to a standstill by the worst pandemic in living memory.
Tonight, Chinese health officials say the illness, which is a new strain of coronavirus, can be passed from person to person, stoking fears that it could be moving faster than it can be contained.
我听说会死很多人，但我爸我妈2003年非典的时候都没死，那我怕什么？
This is the personal story of one apartment building in one Chinese city.
All of a sudden, this whole city just gone quiet.
During the COVID-19 lockdown.
这是担心嘛，除了担心还是担心啊。
As it faces an unknown virus as it first emerges.
There's no vaccination. There's no cure.
My name is Yi. This is my wife, Crystal. We live on the 19th floor, and as filmmakers, we decided to capture the unprecedented experience of the Shanghai lockdown through the eyes of our neighbors.
Over the course of 2 strange months, the fellow residents grapple with the new daily reality.
Some days you're just like, oh my God, I want to get out of here.
See their businesses suffer.
我们平均以前的话，一个月大概30场婚礼这样子的，没有一个都没有。终于出来了。
And savor unexpected, life-affirming moments.
我在家宅了2个月，昨天我第一次出去。
Neighbors in one building, in one city, living through the impact of a virus that will change the world.
好吧，你让妈妈注意保护好自己。
天哪，我们家都被包围了！天哪，越来越近了。
It's January 2020, and preparations for Chinese New Year are underway, when rumors of a brand new virus emerge.
A new, previously undocumented viral infection has broken out in China's Wuhan city.
Wuhan is just a 4-hour train ride from Shanghai.
The first time we heard about this virus was back in January.
I remember seeing people putting on social media, funny memes about the virus, making fun of the Corona name with the Corona beer and stuff like that.
The infection is caused by a coronavirus and causes respiratory problems, fever and cough.
现在封城了，哇，就感觉这个事情非常严重。
It isn't long before the lockdown reaches us in Shanghai. We start our isolation, only leaving our apartment for groceries and exercise. Our building's cleaners, Chuanli and Wenling, are now working overtime to stop the spread of the infection.
They bleached everywhere, but you can smell the alcohol. That actually made you feel safe, weirdly enough.
这卫生这一块的话，就是说工作量要大很多啊。在家里面有访客或者朋友到来的话，那个门全部有记录。如果说万一要有的话，他们物业会第一时间通知居委，该采取什么样的行动就是什么样的行动啊。
Our security guard, Yu Yinglong, has become more like a policeman. He's responsible for protecting all residents living in the compound.
我们这地方一共是110户，所有人进出都要作为登记，而且是外来人员禁止进入小区。那你要保证不了安全，作为一个门岗，你在一线，你要保证不了安全，这个小区就炸了。
I remember the first time they held out the temperature gun and pointed it at our heads. We thought, oh my God, wow, this is a bit crazy. And you could see how stringent they were becoming.
Another neighbor is Tiffany, who moved here nearly 5 years ago from Houston, Texas.
I came as a healing process. My father passed away unexpectedly. I wasn't in a happy place, and I told my family, hey, I'm moving, and I'm moving out of the country.
Tiffany now works as a kindergarten teacher, and for her, the outbreak has started to get very real.
My class got shut down because I had about 8 kids in my class who had the flu. They had just the normal flu. It was not the more serious case. But the school became extremely strict on them getting tested.
But despite rising concerns about the outbreak, for Tiffany, flying back to the States is simply not an option.
I never want to get on an airplane and fly 18 hours with people who I don't know what they're carrying. If I have it, can I bring it to my family in the US? And a virus doesn't have borders. I feel safer in my house.
The government requires every citizen to wear a mask outside and pays for them to ensure everyone complies.
When I go outside, I don't want to touch anything. I don't want anyone whom I don't know to come near me. I want to keep my mask on all the time.
The authorities introduced new surveillance technologies to halt the spread of the virus. They use a traffic light color-coded scanning system to gauge a person's level of risk to the public based on the location data on their phone. If they're green, they can access public spaces. Amber means no access. Red means quarantine at home.
The initiative of this monitoring was good, which is to contain the virus. You kind of accept it.
I can see how that could be very contentious in lots of countries. From my perspective, there wasn't really much of a choice. I guess it's one of the things that you have to abide by if you're living in China. Living on the second floor of our building is the Yu family, who own a successful wedding dress shop.
像这个系列呢，都是我们婚礼当天的一个新娘穿的一个主纱，然后我们可以新娘子可以定制，也可以租借，这个选择是比较多样化的。
Cancellations are flooding in.
他说疫情严重，他们那里严禁办婚礼。
The lockdown is beginning to affect the economy seriously, and businesses that were once thriving, like the Yus, are now grinding to a halt.
我们平均以前的话，一个月大概30场婚礼这样子的。
取消，现在还有？
没有，一个都没有。
本身是很自然的，现在因为经过疫情以后都断了，那么在家隔离，不能上班，没有客户，客户担心。
The shop's few remaining customers are feeling increasingly anxious.
从过完年到现在，我们一共就接待2对客人。第一对客人，那天来也是非常的紧张啊，一来就询问我们，哎，你们有没有什么湖北的员工啊？我说我们没有，因为吃他的时候希望帮他拍点好看的照片嘛。说，哎，你要不然把口罩拿下来吧，我们这里很安全的。他都不肯拿下来。
The virus could also affect the wedding plans of another bride-to-be, Tiffany, who is due to marry her French fiancé, Yoan, in the summer.
I met Yoan at a dinner. All my little friends, they were calling him the hot French urban Thai guy. He just was a French guy who owned Thai restaurants. We were due to get married in France, in Provence, near where Johan is from, during lavender season. So every day I started asking him questions like, do you think our wedding is gonna get canceled? Do you think our wedding is gonna get canceled? At first, it was just like, no, the wedding's not gonna get canceled.
The World Health Organization declares the coronavirus a global health emergency.
Chinese officials say the country has 9,500 cases of the illness and at least 210 people have died.
An infection tracking app, using centralized data from medical centers, allows us to see real-time updates of new cases.
我们家附近又多了1例，最近的离我们才150米。天哪，我们家都被包围了！天哪，越来越近了。
In the ground zero city of Wuhan, an army of excavators is in a frantic race to build a hospital in the next 10 days.
Among the block's residents, the filmmakers have discovered a doctor who works at a hospital in the city. A rheumatology specialist by training, Dr. Jasmine is now triaging potential coronavirus patients.
现在工作首先是一个防护，还有我们的工作可能要比以往更加的仔细，因为现在也是要把每个病人就梳理好，就不能把一些病人漏掉，就是保证我们整个上海，就是希望他尽量的把一些确诊的病人就是给确诊，然后给他们最好的治疗。
But Jasmine's mission comes at a cost. Her higher risk of exposure to the virus has forced her to send her husband and 4-year-old son out of the city for their own protection.
The disease has now killed 305 people.
In China, cases are still on the rise. And now the virus has started to spread beyond its borders.
The Philippines has reported the first death outside China from the coronavirus.
50 airlines are now suspending flights to China.
As the virus spreads, Indonesia and New Zealand are among the latest countries to impose an entry ban on Chinese citizens and others who have recently visited China.
All right, let's turn now to the rapidly spreading coronavirus. The number of people infected has jumped dramatically.
The number of confirmed cases now approaching 24,000, nearly 500 fatalities.
Large swathes of the Chinese economy are shut down, raising concerns about the financial impact of the epidemic.
They have somewhat of a problem, but hopefully it's all going to be great.
As the economic pressures begin to bite in China, more people are having to work from home. Self-confessed workaholic lawyer Wu Ming rarely saw his son before the crisis. His job in mergers and acquisitions took up all his time.
我听说会死很多人，但我爸我妈2003年非典的时候都没死，那我怕什么？
因为我有慢性支气管炎，所以说有时候会有一些咳嗽，那时候会有点紧张。
Wu Ming has taken over parenting duties from his civil servant wife, whose workload has increased dramatically due to the virus. He now finds himself spending more time with his son than ever before.
现在在家时间比较长了，陪陪孩子啊，陪他做作业或者运动运动。
我妈妈就是公务员嘛，现在是管从外国过来的那些人的那些情况啊，还有那些口罩啊什么的。 我爸就是个律师，现在宅在家，等于就是个胖子。最好他们俩都不在家。
我赢了。
For our neighbours, Wu Ming and Diego, the lockdown is bringing them closer together. But for the Yu family, there are growing financial pressures on their wedding dress business. They've had no customers since Chinese New Year, and these tensions are filtering into their home life too.
所有的人都是家里的亲人，本来就应该团聚的，但是它有一个时效性，24小时待在一起，包括跟我孩子、跟我妈、跟太太，那么各种错综复杂的关系，其实就是有很多意外的这些情感方面的事情， 它就会爆发出来。
鱼好吃吗？
味上不错。
你吃那么快？
他1点半要上课的，是吧？
我到现在1点还没到。哎，吃完去把英语的那个要打卡的赶紧做掉，好吧？我马上要去打卡。
各种争吵啊，现在就是连扫个地都有分歧。
他在读书的时候，就我婆婆他们一家人是属于那种很惯孩子的，知道吧？他就是这样子的，就没有这种家务的这种习惯。就是说，你让他现在还稍微好一点了，就我在家还会指使他干点活。
15 medical workers in the Chinese city of Wuhan have been diagnosed with pneumonia after treating people infected with a new coronavirus that's spreading across the country.
Our neighbour Tianmi recently returned to the apartment building from out of the country and has been required to go into quarantine for 14 days.
我叫甜米，上周1开始隔离的，到这周1是7天呢，还是8天呢？今天又是隔离的一天，我就先弹一弹琴，然后再看看电视。就剩1包虾条了，我可得珍惜点吃。就是隔离，我觉得吧，是对自己和对别人都挺负责的一个做法。
As part of the authorities' efforts to contain the virus,
是，我是甜米。
Tianmi receives an automated medical checkup every day.
36.5。反正他们基本上每天第1天是有人给我打电话，一个活人真人工作人员给我打电话，然后第2天就是机器人给我打电话，然后又没咳嗽，没有，然后就撂了，就反正就每天1个电话，就我做好我的工作，他们做好他们的工作。
There was a leading doctor in Shanghai, and he has said by staying at home, you're actually fighting. You may feel suffocating staying at home, but you also suffocated the virus to death.
However, for many in our building, it's not long before cabin fever sets in.
There is only enough, books you can read. There are only enough, cuisines you can try. You've been waiting this to be over, but it's not gonna be over in a short time.
Beyond the first 2 weeks of lockdown, some people are still allowed to go to their places of work, like restaurant and digital business owner Yoan, whose office is just across the street. But for those stuck at home, like his fiancée Tiffany, it's becoming a real endurance test.
Yoan is able to go to work because he owns his own company. So he can get away from this space and go into a working environment. For me, I'm stuck in this apartment, and at times it causes tension. I became a bit jealous that he could actually go to an office and work. You kind of have to say, hold on, wait a minute. Don't let COVID mess up the dynamic of your relationships. In quarantine, it's a real roller coaster ride. Some days you're just like, oh my God, I want to get out of here.
You feel like this whole world is a cell. It's like a prison. That is something which drives me crazy.
As the lockdown continues, we discover the sacrifices our building's cleaners, Chuanli and Wenling, are making to keep us safe.
以前没有的，现在就是说消毒啊，这些东西以前都是没有的。
Like many manual workers, they have left their 2 children in their hometown to work in Shanghai.
小孩在老家，差不多快有1年了啊，经常只能视频通电话吧。这有什么影响？就是担心嘛，除了担心还是担心啊。对，担心孩子啊，担心老年人啊，同时也担心自己啊，是不是？担心老婆啊，是不是？就这个。
We begin with growing fears that the coronavirus outbreak could become a global pandemic.
The Italian authorities are racing to contain an outbreak of the coronavirus, locking down towns and villages.
Today, the World Health Organization raised its risk alert to very high.
It's late February, and the Chinese government has reported over 75,000 infections from COVID-19 and over 2,500 deaths. Now, doctors in China are on the front line of tackling a virus that no one has ever encountered before. Since the start of the outbreak, Dr. Jasmine's workload has increased dramatically. She's been doing grueling 24-hour shifts, 1 day on, 1 day off.
我们回来以后立刻洗手洗澡。我的衣服，我一般外套呢会晾到阳台上去，让它吹风。主要我也会每天监测自己的体温呐，然后注意有没有咽痛啊，有没有咳嗽啊这种症状，然后再去休息一会儿。最难的是有时候像翻班的话会失眠，就是晚上会睡不着觉，人很兴奋。
For Jasmine, the greatest challenge is being separated from her family. In particular, her little boy, Theodore.
One person with coronavirus in Washington state has died. This now makes the first coronavirus death confirmed in the U.S.
Since the weekend, cases have popped up across the country, including Florida, New York, and New Hampshire. The nation's top infectious disease official telling NBC News today the virus has reached outbreak proportion.
Bad news continues to come in from abroad. But in Shanghai, there is a glimmer of hope.
China reported just 206 new cases on Monday, the lowest number for 5 weeks.
A month and a half into the lockdown, there is also some good news for one of the block's residents. Tianmi has been in quarantine and unable to leave her apartment for 14 days.
这个时候可不能让自己动。
74、49、22、21、22、23、24、25、26。啊，好，可以了，可以了。哟，还挺快的嘛。
那可不快了。问完这个，明天10点来理个发，受不了了，我这头啊。
Whilst release from quarantine has come for Tianmi, for many other families in our building, the challenges continue. And for our neighbours with kids, home is now doubling up as school.
伟翠，你这总结的真好，还什么贬词保用，这个我都不会用，写出了汉子的气势。
Like many typical Chinese parents, bridal shop owners Mr. and Mrs. Yu place a huge importance on education.
什么东西啊？
For their son Chiu Yi, it's hard enough studying under normal circumstances, but confinement is making the pressure even greater.
这写出来一个人张狂自大的样子，跟你这后面什么贬词保用，有点不太对劲啊。
可以。
啊，
可以。
我要接着面对孩子后面的这个不上学的这个生活，我就觉得这个就很头疼了，因为不知道要给他再指派什么事情干了，然后你又不能让他天天去玩。
早上做作业，然后吃饭做作业，打会游戏，然后继续做作业睡觉，很不爽。
The school closures are proving a real challenge for teacher Tiffany and her students.
Okay, happy Wednesday, boys and girls. I'm so happy to see you again. I really missed you on Monday and Tuesday.
I teach kindergarten. Everything is about interaction. Now I'm talking to a screen. I have no one talking back to me. It's really strange.
A, D, D. As the e-learning gets extended longer and longer, the kids are really beginning to miss class and interaction with their friends. Long word, subtraction. When we use the word subtraction,
好的，以前我们那个王球老师特别的凶，然后呢，哎，对了，我们班老师会不会看见？好，那就好。我们班那个就很凶的，每次基本都是有后面听课的时候，老师会稍微温顺一点。这次我觉得老师他是变了很多。
1. Who knows what comes after 1? This is not 0. This is the letter O. Being in a classroom setting, you have the social aspect as well. So I'm hearing a lot of parents say that now their students are feeling a bit lonely, isolated.
现在为什么他们都不在呀？刚上完课不都应该在的吗？刚上完课不都应该在的吗？
One of our building's cleaners, Chuan Li, is video calling his family, who live back in their hometown. He and his wife haven't seen their children in almost a year.
这是啊。现在吃过吗？
吃过了。
哦，吃过了。现在在家里面那个网上那个作业有没有做啊？
没有。
啊？
All year, they've been looking forward to their annual trip home.
做了没有啊？
They've recently learned it won't be possible.
为什么？如果要是回家的话，差不多要被隔离14天。然后你是想来的话，就是说到了上海又要被隔离14天啊，这样子就没有办法。奶奶那个小佑呢？
睡觉了。
睡觉了。
你冷吗？
你妈妈在楼上干活呢。
那把我先关了。
哦，好，关了吧。
Some family ties are being stretched to the limit by the crisis. But for lawyer Wu Ming, the lockdown is emphasizing the fact that he may have missed out on aspects of his son's life so far.
以前其实我们这个工作还是挺忙的，在家时间比较少，在家时间有时候也是自己想休息一下，就是看看电视啊，看看电脑啊。当爸爸的就是这块做的比较少。
还没有，还在战斗中。
见到应该是在1个月以前了吧，就是疫情爆发以前。
你早上吃什么啦？
什么时候上学啊？什么时候上学啊？
就快啦，就快啦。
你什么时候回来呀？
不知道呀，因为妈妈下个礼拜还要再继续在那边去跟病毒打仗。
好吧，你让妈妈注意保护好自己，是不是 ？You can do it. You can do it.
Bye.
疫情爆发以后，我们基本上就开始很紧张的去工作了。那边有一套衣服在那里， 去了门诊以后会换上那一套衣服，然后穿防护服，然后戴口罩，2层口罩。发烧有没有？有没有咳嗽？
This is Jasmine's daily routine. It could have been even more challenging. She volunteered to go to Wuhan, the epicenter of the virus, but was asked to stay in Shanghai. She now keeps in regular contact with her colleagues who did go and are taking even greater risks.
哎，霞姐，在武汉怎么样啊？
我下地落地了以后，就收到了几百条的微信，然后所有的朋友都来问我说什么你要去武汉了，怎么这么突然之类的。
你不知道这个病毒是个什么情况，也你看到医护人员感染，所以我很钦佩那些第一批他去武汉的人。那么其实你不知道前方是什么，你往前冲，这个时候是真正的英雄。
Wuhan has become a watchword for the virus's impact in the East. But after 3 months of fighting, China's doctors are finally beginning to turn the tide against the disease. In the West, however, there are signs that the worst is yet to come, causing concern for residents with family overseas.
This morning, a cruise ship with passengers and crew members suspected of having the disease sits 70 miles off the coast of San Francisco.
And you're telling me that you're gonna just go on this cruise regardless and see what happens? No, ma'am.
We begin with breaking news about the coronavirus. 100 countries are now reporting cases, and Italy...
The virus is now spreading in the West with a vengeance.
Why?
My mum, who's in her 70s, lives in the UK.
聽到啊？而家做咩啊？你做乜嘢？
She's in the at-risk category. So I've been quite worried about her safety.
It's nowhere safe. This virus doesn't differentiate. Doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what gender, how old you are. It affects everyone. We and our neighbors and Shanghai and China and now the world are all experiencing this. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
The Italian government tonight put the entire country on lockdown. All Italy now a zona rossa, a red zone.
It's mid-March. As the pandemic tightens its grip on Europe, Tiffany calls Anna, one of the bridesmaids for her upcoming wedding.
Hello?
Anna.
Hey, boo.
Anna lives close to the virus's new hotspot in northern Italy.
It's so sunny and nice.
And you're stuck in the house. Johan says hello.
No, I didn't say hello.
Don't be rude.
How are you, Anna?
For Tiffany and Johan, in constant contact with friends and family overseas, it feels like the crisis isn't being taken seriously enough in the West.
For me now, because my grandma, she lives in Milan, I'm more worried about my grandmother, I'm worried about myself.
What I'm just seeing in some of these other countries, it's really scaring me because people are not taking it serious.
People outside, they don't listen.
I think everyone thinks like this is not going to happen to us. People are dying and they don't know why. There's no vaccination, there's no cure, there's no pill.
I told you my mom was trying to go on a cruise. The only reason why she did not go on this cruise, oh my God, was because they canceled it. There's this big ship where these people are stranded, they can't get off, and you're telling me that you're gonna just go on this cruise regardless and see what happens? No, ma'am. I tell my friends in the US, I'm like, you know what? You have to look at the bigger picture. You have to look at, instead of the me, you need to look at the we.
There are more than 275,000 infections worldwide and more than 11,000 deaths. Italy crossed a grim milestone this week, surpassing China as the global epicenter of the pandemic.
China has for the first time recorded no new homegrown cases of the virus. The 34 new infections were all among people coming into the country from abroad.
For Dr. Jasmine, the fact that China is beginning to turn a corner allows her to look forward to a taste of normality.
哎，我们要出去吃火锅，因为我跟同事商量好了， 我们好想去吃一顿火锅呀。
But most of all, it gives her the hope that she will soon be reunited with her husband, Zhenghua, and her son, Theodore. They've been apart for nearly 2 months.
主要是有的时候会比较想孩子，因为孩子还很小，4岁。有时候视频里面就说妈妈你在哪里呀？我说妈妈还在上班啊。他说那你早点回来啊，你有空就睡一会，让我。他也知道我很辛苦。
As tensions begin to ease, we witness a tender moment between Chiu Yi and his grandmother.
对吧？现在你这么大了，这个时候这么小，我每天把你猜到那个幼儿园的时候，拜拜就进去了，记得吧？啊？不记得。他说你是这个班级里面同学当中很棒的小朋友。现在你长大了，应该保持好的地方。
Amid all the turmoil and disruption, it feels like Chiu Yi's grandmother wants to tell him that everything is going to be okay.
After 2 months, the authorities have finally relaxed the restrictions on social distancing. The lockdown has been lifted.
好久没见朋友，今天第1次出门见朋友，很开心。
Let's hope they don't get freaked out by the camera.
First time meeting friends was really like a treasure. The heart and heart are together. You feel you both are refugees of this crisis, and when you hug, you don't need to say anything because you've been through something similar together.
Tiffany and Yoan are celebrating the end of the lockdown by having friends over for the first time in months.
It's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. And just to see life coming back slowly, people are happy, people aren't afraid to be on the street.
But for Tiffany and Yoan, the end of the Shanghai lockdown is bittersweet.
I just want to be able to see my family, to see and touch and love on my family and not have to do it virtually.
The crisis has also led to a tough decision about their wedding.
Just recently, we decided to postpone. A lot of places have travel bans, travel restrictions. We had guests coming from all over the world. So it was a really hard decision, but the health and well-being of our family and our friends come first.
But here in China, as restrictions lift and confidence builds, people are starting to resume their wedding plans. Which means business is picking up again at the Yu family's wedding dress shop. It's been over 7 weeks since they served their last customer. This time, the bride is happy to show her face.
所以就这家属很早开始的，所以赶紧约上，不然的话就是担心挑不到喜欢的婚纱。
这还得持续，那我们就是用最好的愿望和最坏的打算去做这个事。那么这个是需要去打通的，所以现在需要时间。跟那个春天一样，我们先开花，他们再过个1个月、2个月再开花。
We're noticing that a simple ability to reunite with friends and loved ones has become the biggest joy.
我在家宅了2个月，昨天第一次出去。 我是说第一四大金刚。我说承认你，哎，自由格斗可不是这样玩的，好不好？自由格斗，觉得有一个人哪个？我跟你们讲一下，全中国最没有想到的3件事：猪肉最没有想到的自己的身价败给了口罩；毛衣最没有想到的自己的价格竟然败给了睡衣；而我们更没有想到的，为全国最大的贡献竟然是在家里，竟然是宅在家里睡觉。
After months apart, Jasmine's husband Zhenghua and son Theodore have finally returned home. And she's on her way back from the hospital to meet them.
那肯定担心嘛，说不担心肯定是假的，肯定担心了。我觉得可能他们每个医生家里面可能都要做类似的决定吧，对吧？那有些时候他可能是要去，哎，你是故意的吗？你是故意的吗？
我是。
是啊，那你别这样好不好？
好吧。
然后他就是，你是抢戏对不对？
我是谁呀？我是谁呀？好久没见了吧
？My neighbours are real people. Before, they were just people you stand next to in a lift and you just kind of bow your head and say nothing.
You just see different people around the building that you might have just walked past all the time. But now you feel like there's a connection. We've been through something together.
For us and our neighbours, lockdown has brought challenges, new connections, and fresh appreciation of the things that matter.
I've learned that I need to be more patient. I need to be more kind. I need to be more loving and caring and grateful.
Hopefully we look out for each other a lot more. We care about our neighbours a little bit more. We appreciate the smaller things.
This crisis really put all of us, no matter what race, what nationality, we are one side in front of the virus. This is the time the most you felt we are together.
We've contained our story in one building, in one city, in China. But a lot of what we've seen here is very much reflected across the rest of the world.